Here's a fun fact I bet you didn't know waking up this morning. Collards are the official vegetable of South Carolina. Yeah, Governor Nikki Haley actually made that so. So what are collards? Where do they come from? How do they taste? We're going to learn that today as this city guy takes a look with a farming eye. Stay with us. Ah yes, collards. I mean, really nothing says the holidays, maybe the new year, like the official vegetable of South Carolina, the collards. And we thought we'd come out here on this farming eye for the city guy to learn about collards from one of the guys who produces them, one of the big collard producer here in Lexington and in South Carolina, Chris Rawl from the Rawl Farm. Good morning, my friend.
Good morning.
Thanks for coming out. I mean, you've got quite an operation here. How big is this farm?
We got around 1,500 acres of tillable acres.
Right.
And collards are one of our major crops. We probably raise around 450 acres a year of just collard greens. Mm-hmm. And then we grow all other types of greens from turnip, mustard, kale, cabbage, and crops like that we can grow, through the winter time like it is now. And then in the summertime we grow a lot of pepper and squash and eggplant, sweet corn, green peanuts, and other.
So you're rolling year round. You're producing year round here.
Yes, sir.
All right, so let's talk collards. So this is the collards right here, a row of collards, as they say.
Mm-hmm.
Would it be a row of collards?
A row, yes.
All right, very good. All right, let's get down and meet these collards. What is it about collards that make it so good? Everybody loves them. I don't know why.
Well, gosh, especially this time of the year after the frost has settled on the leaves, it seems to bring out the sweetness in collards. So
let me go and take a look at it. Let me pick one here.
The stems are less desirable. So
okay.
If you can, try to, when you're cooking them especially, to try to pull some of these stems out.
Right. What is the, it's good luck to have collards on New Year, is that right?
That's right.
Okay.
The collards are, represent the greens or the money that you might take for the new year, and then you eat black-eyed peas, and that represents the change in the pennies. And it's good luck to do that on New Year's Day here in the South.
Now we're going to learn about actually picking here in just a little bit later on this morning. But so these guys are actually out hand picking these collards.
Yes, the technique we're doing now is called cropping, where they just strip leaves. Instead of using a knife, they use their hands and just kind of pick the leaves off, and then put them into a small bunch like this, and use a twist tie to wrap them and put like 20-something bunches in a box. Sure,
we're going to see that up close and personal. Of course, later on in the process, they go back to the farm, they get processed, cleaned, shipped out, and we'll see all that as well. It's a full operation right from field, quite honestly, right to your plate after you buy them at Publix or Walmart or Bilo, wherever the heck you buy your foods. You may be eating actually in just a little bit here on New Year's Eve some of the raw collards. Check it out, guys. We're going to learn about collards this morning as we are celebrating farming through the eyes of this city guy. Stay with us. We got a lot more coming up. Here's a fun fact for you. Did you know that South Carolina is the #2 producer of collards in the entire nation? And in fact, Lexington County, where we are, is #1. So we're #1 at #2, but it makes a lot of sense in how the collards go from the farm right here in the fields to your dinner plate and to your New Year's Eve celebration plate. It's a very big process, that's for sure.
Tyler, get back to work.
All right, well, I'll be right back, but we're going to pick them coming up. Welcome back to the show. We're talking about farming this morning, actually taking a look at farming from the farmer's eye for the city guy like me. Now, collards in South Carolina are big business for sure. I mean, Marlboro's got a big collard festival. You can see it in Gaston. Pretty much anywhere, you got to eat collards if you're from the South, right, Chris?
Exactly.
Chris Rawl Farms here in Lexington. All right, so we're in the fields and we're going to get our hands dirty. So it comes down to no fancy machinery. People actually out here and yank these things up by hand.
Yeah, everything we do is for fresh market, so everything has to be hand harvested.
Okay, so I got my bands. The secret is you put them on your fingers like that? Is that the secret?
Mm-hmm.
All right, hang on. I'm going to band myself. These are rubber bands, right? Fancy rubber bands. All right, hold on. All right, so we're going to reach in. We're going to grab us some freshly picked collards. What do we do? There's got to be a technique.
It's a technique, and I'm not the best at it, but you just kind of grab it right there where you want it to break off at.
Okay.
Right here at the...
so kind of where it goes together.
Yeah, where the leaf and the stem gets very long right there, as you can see. That's undesirable, that part of the collard and that stem. So
okay, so you want just that part itself?
Yeah, just that leaf right there. So.
All right, so like right about there?
That's it.
There we go. I'm going to go ahead and reach in here and grab these. How many do you do before I band them up?
Oh, you've got to get a good handful.
That's a farm. That's like a good chef's market. Yeah. That's a bad one.
Yeah,
Get
that's
rid
a
of that.
bad one. Yeah,
that's like when you're in the kitchen. Just a little pinch. So a good handful, I suppose.
Yeah.
All right, there we go. That'd be good like that.
Yeah, maybe a few more.
All right,
Tyler.
Don't want to be stingy. Oh, get rid of that. Okay, just like that. All right.
All right. Yeah, that looks good. And then just take your rubber band and pull over it and chunk her in the box right there.
Just like that, and you keep on going.
Keep on going.
Now,
yeah.
how big is this field right here? Take a look at this. This is a pretty large field. What's the rough acreage?
Roughly 20 acres in here.
So 20 acres. How long is it going to take your guys to go ahead and actually harvest this particular field?
We'll be done with it next week.
Just like that?
Yeah, just like that. Yeah.
Now, I understand you guys, you actually do this 24 hours a day. Like at night, you put up stadium lighting, and you're actually out here in the dead of the night.
Well, at times of the year, we have to.
Right.
We've got customers that are demanding, you know, collards on a certain day.
Sure.
And like this morning, it was very cold, and sometimes you can't get started early enough in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
So if we have to get out here at 10, 11 o'clock after it's been frozen, come 5:30, we're not finished with the order.
Sure.
And that truck's not loaded. So we've got several stadium lights or that are on generators, and we'll bring them out to the field and look like we play football out here.
Almost like a field of dreams, if you will. You know, and I think that's an important part too. We were talking about earlier is that you know, you're farming. It is not a 9-to-5 job. It's a way of life.
It is.
But come Christmas Eve, you still got crop you got to pull up. So you know, Santa Claus may be open the sky, but you guys are out here actually pulling collards.
Yes, that's I've been in this all my life, and that's the way it always is around Christmas. You know, all my friends go off on trips or, you know, have big Christmas events and things like that, but we're out here working.
You're working a farm, just like that, guys. Right from the farm, and really, you're seeing it up close, personal, and firsthand, from the farm in the ground to the store, to your plate. That's really how the farmers do this every single day of their life, year after year after year. Well, as for me, I better get cooking, because there's a whole big full field I gotta go ahead and harvest here. So we're talking about collards, good luck stuff, you know, Christmas and the holidays and whatnot. We're coming back. We're going to learn about more, really, the business side of how the collards really churn the big engine that is farming here in South Carolina. All right, Chris, I'm getting back to work. Don't yell at me again. Golly. All right. All right, so you cut them in the field, you bring them inside, you get them cut and prepared, you box them up, but then how do they get to the store? Well, clearly, in the back of these great big trucks, but we're going to talk about that process when we come right back. Stay with us. All right, welcome back as we learn more about farming. It's kind of the farming eye for the city guy, right? A lot of vegetables, a lot of produce, but today we're talking about collards. It is a South Carolina staple. Yes, I know it is the official vegetable, by the way, of South Carolina. Chris Rawls, we're going to continue on. All right, so we've been in the field. You've got all the collards back here. Now, how do you get them out to the stores?
Well, we have our own fleet of trucks.
Right.
And we bring them here to our facility where we pack them and cool them, and we store them in rooms like we're fixing to see here.
Okay.
And then we, as customers place their orders, we load the trucks, and they leave out that same night and go to their destination the next morning.
You got them for the next morning, fresh collards. Can we take a look at the cooler?
Yeah.
Now, you know, you say cooler, but it's pretty darn cool out here, but it's even colder in there, right?
It's even colder in there, yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
How big, how many collards or how much produce do you actually have in here at any given time during season?
Any given time, there would be several thousand boxes of
okay.
you know, collards and other greens as well.
So you guys are basically, you know, almost 24 hours a day producing between cutting and getting into boxes, because you got people who put these things in boxes too, right?
Yeah, we do most of that in the field.
Okay. So they come back here on the pallets in the boxes themselves on ice.
Yeah. They come here to the package shed where we run them through a cold water bath.
Okay.
That cools the leaves and cools the plants down, and then ice is put inside the box to keep it fresh.
Okay.
Freshness.
So how many trucks are you running out at any given time? We were on the loading bay a few minutes ago. We saw the whole line of bays, but...
Yeah, most days we load anywhere from 5 to 10 trucks a day.
And how many, like, how far do you reach do you have? Is it all South Carolina, Southeast, worldwide?
We are mainly Southeast, but certain times of the year we go into the Northeast, and from Mississippi River back to here.
Where are collards the most popular to you, if you had a guess, besides South Carolina? Of course, everyone loves them here.
They're more popular in the South,
right?
For sure. But up north, there's a lot of Southern people that have moved up there that like collards too. So.
Little taste of home.
Little taste of home.
Let's say something. See that from the field out to the trucks, or in the boxes, out to the trucks, out to you. It's the whole collard processing here as we're learning about farming, straight from the guys who actually do it every single day using the technology, getting these this produces to you and I so we can go buy it and say, yes, please, I'll have more collards. There's a lot more farming eye for the city guy when we come back. Stay with us. The economic impact of farming in South Carolina is $34 billion. That is with a B, dollars every single year right here coming out of the Palmetto State. And where does that come from? Sure, it comes from all the vegetables and fruits. It also comes from the jobs that are created and the production. And we're going to learn about that as we celebrate farming through a farmer's eyes for this city guy. Stay with us. Welcome back to the show. We're learning about farming, actually getting our hands dirty through the eyes of the farmers for this city guy, pseudo-city guy. I grew up on a farm in Vermont, but it was a long time ago and far away. So we're kind of finding our roots again. See what I did there with the roots here in South Carolina, which, by the way, employs 200,000 workers are in the farming industry just in this one state alone. It's definitely big business, and it's a big part of the economy because we all get to eat. Powell Smith from the Clemson Extension. Good morning, my friend.
How are you today?
I'm very well. Boy, I'm thinking about produce from a state level, certainly here in Lexington County. A lot of farms here, a lot of people doing a lot of work, but it really has a huge impact through the produce of fruits and vegetables here.
Right, we're a fairly large producing area here in Lexington County. We have several other areas around the state that also produce a lot of fresh market fruits and vegetables. South Carolina actually produces about 21% of all the collards produced in the United States, and that's actually the largest single percentage of the national share of any commodity grown in South Carolina, and that's actually how we were able to get the #1 vegetable, because there's a lot of important fruits and vegetables in South Carolina, such as peaches, watermelons, tomatoes, but the largest single market share of any is the 21% that collards take in, and that's how we were lucky enough to get that title, and a lot of them are grown right here in the Midlands.
Let me ask you this, why is it then, if peaches are a big thing, and I understand there's more peaches here than Georgia, why is Georgia the peach state? How do they get that? That's not fair.
Long ago, when they gave state nicknames, Georgia just grabbed that one first and kind of trademarked it, and they've always been about the #3 peach producer in the nation, but they snaked the peach state name before we did. We were the cotton state.
Well, you know, I was going to ask that because a while ago we were out at another farm, and there was cotton growers, and they do a lot of cotton. They were talking about how big that industry is, which is a phenomenally huge industry. That's not vegetables, of course, but it's cotton.
But our agricultural figure is all those crops rolled into one, and Lexington County is the #2 agricultural county in the state, and we've just recently been passed by Kershaw County. Both Kershaw and Lexington, their claim to fame is poultry. And you know, we all enjoy poultry, particularly at Thanksgiving. We raise some turkeys here, but broilers and eggs are part of the reason that South Carolina is a big poultry producing state, and a lot of that's right here in the Midlands.
From the eyes of the Clemson Extension, how important then are the roles of these farmers that, you know, are out here every single day, no matter what the weather, no matter what time of day, night, Christmas Eve? How important is their role in the big cog, I guess, that makes this country?
Well, it's very important, and obviously Clemson has a lot of areas of responsibility, agriculture being only one, but we are here to serve our farmers, and our farmers are, you know, very effective and efficient. We have all types of farmers in South Carolina, ranging from small farmers, organic farmers, and large corporate type farms that are actually family farms in the guise of corporate farms, but it takes all kinds of agriculture to produce enough food to feed the U.S., and we're proud here in South Carolina of the quality of product that we grow and the amount that we grow and put on the national market.
It's a very important piece, a cog in the wheel, I guess, to get my big old belly full, for sure. Of course, we're talking about collards today. Powell Smith from the Clemson Extension. We're going to continue on this morning at the Rawl Farm in Lexington, learning about collards, because 'tis the season, as they say. We're going to learn more about collards specifically, because they have a very unique history and, in fact, a very special title here in the state. We'll talk about that here in just a little bit. Stay with us as we're learning about farming through the eyes of this guy for this city guy. All right, stay with us. Well, here's a fun fact for you. 20 pounds of collards. This represents about 3,200 calories. I'd say that's about Christmas dinner for me. But think about this, though. When you think about the health benefits, 20 pounds of this is 32. 20 pounds of ham is how many calories? 20 pounds of chocolate? Yeah, there's some pretty cool health benefits here with collards as we celebrate farming and collards through the eyes of the farmers. Welcome back to the show, and here's a little fun fact for you about collards. They are, per calorie, the most nutrient-rich food on the planet. That's a lot of fun. Powell Smith from the Clemson Extension. We're talking, of course, collards out here at the Clayton Rawl Farm in the heart of Lexington County. Just talking about farming and with the time of year, everybody loves these things. They celebrate, was it good luck or no money? Money is collards.
They represent the green, the folded money that goes in your wallet.
That stuff.
And they are very rich nutritionally. They have a lot of nutrients besides the calories. Calories are, you know, present in a lot of food, but collards are full of vitamins and minerals and that sort of thing. In fact, Clemson's work shows that collards have more vitamins than either carrots or spinach. Both of which
Really?
have been held up as the paragons of vitamin A nutrition. So
Sure, you can see with carrots, and of course you get big forearms like Popeye did with spinach.
that's right. But he could have eaten collards and taken care of Bugs Bunny and Popeye both could have taken care of
See
the
that?
nutritional needs with collard.
Do collards come in cans though? Can be squeezed. That's the question.
Yes, they do. We actually have a cannery here in South Carolina produces a very nice canned product.
Just like that.
Yeah.
So the collards are actually the state vegetable. Governor Nikki Haley named them the state vegetable of South Carolina. Give me some of the history of collards and how we learned to, cook these suckers up.
Well, collards are always associated with the South, but actually collards were brought to this country by the Pilgrims.
Okay.
And they were common in Northern Europe as far back as the Middle Ages, and that's where they actually came from. And they were brought to this country by early English settlers. Since they grow very well in the winter down south, they are commonly looked at as a southern staple because we can basically grow them throughout most of the year,
Right.
both summer and winter, and have a good, fresh, nutritious crop to eat even in the middle of the winter, as our New Year's holiday shows.
But what can you do about the smell?
Well,
I'm just saying.
Some people like that smell. As I say, it smells like money in Lexington County when the smell of collards. But you can put a little baking soda in the water. That quells it a little bit.
Right.
You don't want to put too much because that adds sodium. Also, I add vinegar to my water because I like vinegar with the collards, and it kind of tempers the taste, and it also disguises the smell somewhat too. Or you can cook them outside on your gas burner. We usually cook our New Year's collards if it's not sleeting or snowing or raining outside.
You just do it just like that.
Oh yeah.
The collards up, talking collards from the eyes, the guys who produce them out here in their fields. Again, 24 hours a day, you're talking 7 days a week. Farming knows no hours, there's no time clock they're really punching. I mean, they're out here on Christmas Eve and in the rain, and it doesn't matter when or where. If there's a field of crops, I got to get it out there. I mean, it certainly represents a lot of economic impact, as we talked earlier.
It does, yes it does. And these guys are diligent in their harvest. That's one of the things about fresh market production. It needs to be there when the consumer wants it, so they're basically harvesting usually 6 days a week and shipping, and that ensures a fresh product arriving at the warehouse in a timely fashion.
Just like that. This is Powell Smith from the Clemson Extension. We'll get details for you at watch.com. By the way, links over to Clemson Extension, learn more about their efforts, with the economic impact of the footprint anyway, the entire state of South Carolina. We're talking collards, and of course we want to tell you just about more of the great information that these farmers, they do every day, and their impact on how it is when we're going through with the shopping cart nice and shiny. Of course, I always get the one that bumps like that, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we tell you what it means to these guys when we come through and say, yes, I'll have 7 of these, even if they smell bad. Stay with us. So we spent the morning talking about collard production right here in the heart of it, in the heart of Lexington County. Acres and acres of collards coming out this time of year. They're very popular. If you want to try your hand at growing your own collards, you can do that. In fact, the Department of Agriculture puts out these free packets for you. Dump them in the ground. I don't think this will cover 1,600 acres, but it would be a start. We are going to talk about more of the economic impact and the popularity of collards right from the hands of the guys that pull them into the ground and bring them to your grocery store. Stay with us. We're coming right back. Welcome back to the show. We actually are talking about farming and the impact, economically and otherwise, that farming has on, well, the world, frankly. I mean, somehow it's got to get from the farm to our belly. What does it mean financially for a farmer? Well, the Clemson Extension says that an acre of collards can equal about $7,500. Now, of course, in that is processing and employees and things like that. So here in the middle of Clayton Rawls' 20-acre collard piece, certainly represents a nice piece of business in a way that he can sustain his family and certainly feed us as well. Lonnie Reichert from Farm-City, good morning.
Good morning, how are you?
Very well. We're talking about farming, and because it is business, the farmers, they want to grow food and it's a passion. They've also got to sustain their livelihood and their family, so it really is not a 9-to-5 job.
It's definitely not a 9-to-5 job. It's 24 hours a day, 7 days a week sometimes, just keeping up with everything. Especially with collards. New Year's Day is the biggest day of the year for collard consumption, and in order to get the collards to the store so it can be on your plate New Year's Day, farmers will work Christmas Eve, sometimes Christmas Day.
They got to be grown, right?
Yep.
Now, you said yourself, you actually grew up picking collards yourself, hands-on.
I did.
Now, I was at New Year's Eve. I remember, hanging out, going to little parties, and my mom, and couldn't wait for Christmas morning, but you were out in the field like this, right?
I have spent many Christmas Eves out in the collard field. We would go to Christmas Eve service at church and get done at church and go back to the collard field and cut collards underneath the lights and pack and load the trucks so they'd be ready to roll out Christmas night and be at the warehouse the day after Christmas to make it to the grocery store. Yeah.
That's one of the things that I certainly don't think about every day. I'm cognizant that farmers are out here working, but it is a passion, but it is a day-to-day, 7 days a week kind of job. I mean, there is a lot of technology that goes into farming these days. We learn in the cotton field, but a lot of times it actually comes down to men and women actually out here hands-on picking the collards, and that's really kind of what Farm-City is all about.
Yeah, Farm-City programs across the nation strive to bring awareness to the interdependence of the farm and the city. We can't survive without each other. You know, everything from your food, your fuel, your clothing, your shelter originates on the farm.
Right.
And that's kind of what we try to do. Lexington County Farm-City programs have been around for 15 years with that mission. And a little quick tidbit, I guess, I was probably 10 or 15 years ago, I actually had a highly educated person was asking me about how I grew up and being on the farm, and you know, I was telling the stories about what we did, and she had no idea. She honestly thought that the food just came from the warehouse to the grocery store.
Just like magic, just magically appeared.
Yeah.
Like Lucky
And
Charms.
so that's why it's kind of important to me and all farmers across the state that
Sure.
people realize exactly what goes into it, and it's not, you know, it's not a job, it's a way of life.
Sure.
I really do love, you know, what we do.
Well, you got to be passionate about it, because it is. Chris earlier was telling us that nights he'll put up farming or big stadium lights out
Yeah.
here, and they'll light this thing up like the daytime.
It looked like an airport.
Think of Williams-Brice maybe.
Yeah, yeah.
But they're out here 24 hours a day, and you can't do that if it's not a passion, it's not in your blood to do this. But we certainly, there's a lot of interdependence between, you know, the city guys like us. When we go to whether it's Whole Foods or Walmart to grocery shop, there's a dependence we have on each other for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
All right, guys, we're going to put more information for you at watch.com on Farm City. Of course, just about the farmers here in South Carolina in general, the economic impact, which is huge, the footprint in South Carolina, creating jobs, creating people, putting full bellies, not just in South Carolina, but throughout the Southeast and, in fact, across the nation. I mean, who knows, this collard, well, this one's coming on with me, but that collard could end up on your plate for New Year's Eve. Details at watch.com, and I better get back to work, otherwise Chris is going to start yelling at me again, so I just don't want that to happen. Details on the website.
Tyler, get back
I'm coming, man. I'm coming. Good gosh.